Welcome, eclectic minds and beautiful mutants of the world. So I was going to make a video outside. Still too cold to go. Too cold to go for a walk. Sat outside on the bench for bed. So like, nah, no. Well, so I'm making in the bedroom, and I've done some modification. Got an SD card as well, so maybe I'll be able to make a little bit longer than like a 4 or 5 minute video. So, um, so yeah, so Um, let's just backtrack a bit. 4 billion years ago. No, not that far back. No. A couple of years ago, when I purchased the my personal computer, my Lenovo with the awesome monitor. Um, I knew, like I told myself, sort of like, yeah, this computer, if I choose, and I choose, is it's like a massive library with a wealth of information, like, right, like whatever, and so yeah, so I've been doing that a lot recently. But I've also been reading books that I purchased that also is giving me like different, it's putting different thoughts in my head and stuff like that. And then there's also kind of academies, right? So and this is, and again, I don't know how to make it video or do like in writing or something like that, but Renaissance man, or what is called back in the 1500s, it's also known as polymath or polyhistor, and what it is people of I'm going to assume of high intellect, but it could be anybody really. Um, but they don't really specialize anything. They as sort of reminds me of the jack of all trades, as like in construction, right? Like, they know how to be, like, they know how to paint, they know how to do electrical work, but they're not like a master of anything, right? Jack of all trades, master of none. Same idea with the Renaissance man, and I haven't even got to what I say. This is gonna be maybe 10 minutes. So who knows? We'll see how long I can make it. Or I might just have to do another one. So Renaissance man is that, yeah. So they're really knowledgeable in a whole bunch of different, so like math, arts, humanities, history and stuff like that, and that's sort of like what I'm doing with Khan Academy, right? I realize that, why haven't I gone into chemistry, and why am I so afraid of physics? And I'm not really. I guess the thing with physics, and probably with chemistry, and also computer science as well, is that um, it 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 forces. What's the term? It takes a lot more effort, energy. I'm not sure, but there's some aspect of it sort of saying, but maybe I'll get there anyways. So, but that's sort of like what Renaissance man is. I guess like Benjamin Franklin would be one of the first examples, sort of thing. Um, but like Sir Isaac Newton would also be another example of a Renaissance man that like. So, anyways, so in a roundabout way, is getting to the point that getting to the so yesterday, by taking it, not yesterday, was it yesterday? I guess it was, no, 2 days ago, Saturday I went on academy, Khan Academy, because I was getting for that milestone of 250K energy points, and I didn't know about the avatar. The avatar was really cool. That's something else I got to really look into, the Lemurian aquatine calcite. But it's I think what Sandy was saying, looks like a Pokemon character or something like that. So maybe it is. It's like Aquatine. Um, uh, so anyways, you guys, so I was learning, and I was just next on the agenda for high school biology. Unit 2. I got to go back and finish that quiz again. Like yeah. So anyway, it was talking all about homeostasis and stuff like that, right? Balance and stuff like that, right? And so, like, I kept me thinking about sort of like, that's like sort of like an ongoing thing, is that there seems to be a lot of like imbalance in my life, right? And then then I read about then I found out about the hidden census, right? Now, so today, okay, so let's get today because hey, we're already at 5 minutes. So but today in a nature.com article, so fairly reputable website, right? And it's neuropsychopharmacology reviews, right? Yeah, they really need like of the like what I'm finding in these texts that are like where I need a little bit more. Well, I look and I if I they don't have the hyperlinks, they just automatically assume, but like anyway, so as we'll get into it. But anyway, so it's so this is also go. So I was still for really looking into well further going into the homeostasis and the sleep cycles like the wake and sleep and stuff like that and to do with autism. So I get to this fascinating article that's called "Sleep as a Translational Relevant Endpoint in Studies of Autism Spectrum Disorder." And all what that means is that we have the ability and that we can like study it in I think in animals and stuff like that. That's what they're like to do with genes, to simulate autism in I think mice or something like that. Anyway, so it is quite like a year ago, like I wouldn't even like attempted to read an article like this, and now if I really like because I've taken the I guess the courses and have really expanded my mind and broadened and stuff like that, I can read something like that. And even like a friend of mine sent me an article through today, and I looked at it. It's a huge article. Like I've just like sort of like was skimming through it sort of thing, and and again the same idea is that it's a lot of the words it's hard to understand, but I can understand the whole gist of the meaning, like the whole the broader picture because I've been like delving into the different areas. So anyways, back to this because as already it's 7:27. Cool. We are definitely gonna make a 10-minute video. Okay. So so further on, you go. Okay, so then it goes down to melatonin. So remember what I was saying about like the like I errantly said that we don't produce that people anyways, let me just finish this story and then like maybe I'll talk about it for a bit or I don't know. Okay, so it says melatonin is an important regulator of the circadian sleep-wake rhythm, not to be confused with the other sleep-wake cycle. Is that when you're tired, you just automatically just fall asleep, and when you're at the end of the time. This is different. This is to do with the circadian rhythm of the clock that I found out yesterday as well last night. Right? Weird. Okay, and there is evidence that dysregulation on this hormone of this hormone, so melatonin is a hormone, might have something a role in ASD related sleep problems. Okay, adults with that are on the spectrum that have autism, and either you have it or you don't have it, and it's just recently determined that it's. And that's what I'm saying. Like it's just all this stuff is like really new in autism, and then there relating stuff that that wasn't related to autism anymore, that or something like that. But so yeah, insomnia in adults is upwards of 80%. In children, like 40 to 80%. Like it's just like the sleep issue is a real thing, and the melatonin that we put Derek on at a very young age is is very helpful. Okay, so I'm going to keep on going. Under normal physiological conditions, plasma concentrations of melatonin follow a regular circadian pattern with low levels during the day and high levels at night. So this is all part of the the going back to the sense receptors as well, maintaining that that the I'm gonna say that there is a balance, right? And then the interoception where it affects introspection, which is fascinating. Um, yeah, so there's an okay. I'm getting to that. Okay, so but this is where it gets interesting, right? Um, the production of melatonin mainly occurs in the pineal gland. Okay, and there's this is so fascinating as well. I go, the pineal gland is also known as the mind's eye, right, which is responsible for imagination, for visualizing, right? Now, Asia, you don't have that, so right, everything seems to be, you know, um, you know, fits together, sort of thing. Um, where release is entrained by ambient light via connections with the central circadian dock, circadian clocks, aren't that duh? In the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the hypothalamus in the brain, sort of thing, right? So this, we're talking about this is like probably like, you know, part of the older brain, sort of thing. And it says the biosynthesis of melatonin occurs through an enzymatic process. And I'm reading this. This is my major discovery today. The biosynthesis of melatonin occurs through an enzymatic process, starting with the conversion of tryptophan to serotonin, which then is converted to melatonin through action of two enzymes, AA-NAT, because I'm going to like their long words, and ASMT, which includes serotonin, the word serotonin. Okay, so so yeah, that next page. Okay, okay, we'll try to keep it to 15 minutes. Sorry, letting me make a long video, so I'll do the long video. Okay, so we're almost finished, anyways. So it says melatonin is a particular interest in ASD, or autism spectrum disorder, because, and it's now just autism, right? It's not a disorder, it's not a spectrum, it's autism. Because of its role in neurodevelopment and sleep wake rhythms, but also because abnormalities in the serotonin system are frequently identified ASD, right? I mean, well known, right? I mean, for right, but I mean, I didn't know that there was a relation between serotonin and melatonin. Okay, so here we go. The most consistent of these finding in ASD is a reduction in peripheral melatonin levels. The cause of this reduction in melatonin, right? So there's a reduction, is thought to be an impairment of the serotonin melatonin biosynthetic pathways. Da da da, right? The imbalance. The sense, you know, as there is evidence for reduced activity of the ASMT enzyme, the serotonin enzyme. Okay, so finishing off. Okay, consistent with the finding, it has been reported that 40% of those that have ASD, not LSD, ASD, had, okay, 40% of those with autism had higher levels of serotonin in the blood, and 50% of one had abnormally low levels of melatonin, which would be expected if ASMT is reduced. Blah, blah, blah. We know about this. Okay, and then they talk about like supplemental melatonin, like in the drugstore, right? Is not directly associated with changes in levels of melatonin, suggesting so what is saying that sort of like, even though you take melatonin, like you don't build it up, it's not, it's just right, if you stop taking melatonin, like, you know, it says so that there's more complex mechanisms than simply replacing low levels of melatonin, right? Oops, sorry. I guess sort of like, you know, when we take, you know, lots of vitamin B12, sort of thing. Well, not if we get excellent. Anyways, so yeah, that was my second major discovery. Again, I was reading. I don't like reading. I mean, when I'm making videos, I wish that, you know, like it was just like just through memorization, sort of thing. But yeah, so see, I haven't even gotten to the dopamine. I still got to find out where dopamine comes involved. So yeah, stay tuned then. Okay, ciao.